With a pastry brush and a little bit of sherry or brandy or whatever you've used in the cake, you just want to wet the surface of the marzipan, making sure that it's moist all over so that the icing will stick. To cover an 8-inch cake in sugar paste, you want about 900 grams of icing. You want to knead it nicely and again form a rough ball shape, as that will then form the basis for the shape we're going to roll out with the pin. We've got a little bit of waste icing again, which you can just rub over the surface you're using, so it will pick up any lingering crumbs, dust, fluff and so on. You can also just rub it on your hands, and again, any fluff or anything that's sitting on your hands will get picked up by this rather than landing on the cake. So we'll roll the icing out. With the sugar paste, you want to be a little bit more gentle than with the marzipan because it's not quite so forgiving. If it sticks to your surface, you can use either a little bit of white vegetable fat or some icing sugar underneath the icing to stop it sticking. Whatever you do use, you want to make sure that you turn it frequently, because the icing will form a seal with the surface that you're rolling out on, and that will stop it spreading and getting bigger as you roll. Once you've rolled your icing out, the next step is to then transfer it onto the cake. So again, we'll use our rolling pin to hold it, like so. Move the cake into the middle, and once more roll the icing on. Now, sugar paste is not quite as forgiving as marzipan, so we're going to have to work a little bit quicker with this. So again, start by smoothing the top down with your hands. Even out the skirt of the icing, and then the next step again is to use this part to get the top edge and the very top of the sides attached. If your icing's going to tear, this will be where it will happen, because there the weight of the icing here is pulling it down. So that very top ½ an inch or so is the most important bit to get stuck down quickly to help prevent tearing. Once you've done that, the process is the same. You want to work your way down the sides, using your hands to press the icing to the cake. And then where you've got pleats like that, again, spread them out, press them down gently, just a little bit at a time, going round until you've got them all smoothed out and the icing attached. Like so again, we'll start with the hard smoother. Just run that over the top to get it stuck down. And then again, along the side to make sure that everything there is also stuck on nicely. Once you've attached the icing, if you've got any air bubbles, which you can feel, all you need to do is just prick the surface of the cake with a clean pin, like so, and you can press the air out, like that. And then smooth the icing over with your hand or the smoothers until the hole goes away like that. The next step, we need to trim away the excess icing from the base of the cake. Again, we use the knife, just very carefully following that line. Now, put this icing to one side as we'll use it in a moment to cover the board. You want to cover it up in a bag so that it doesn't dry out. With the hard smoother, we'll just go around that edge to press the icing in. To keep working on those sharp edges that we started with the marzipan, the process is the same. You want to start off with the hard smoothers and run them round the edge. Again, pushing the icing from the centre out towards the edge with the top smoother. Once you've done that, to start it off, we'll swap to the acetate smoothers again, and the process is the same. One on top, one on the side, and you want to smooth them round to make that nice edge. You can use the smoothers to just run over the rest of the cake, because again, this will help even out any little lumps and bumps you've got or any uneven parts in the sugar paste. And then the final step with the right angled smoother is to just very gently run it round to even out that edge. Now that we've covered the cake, we can ice the board. With the leftover sugar paste, knead it again so that it's nice and soft and pliable. Use a little more of the sherry or brandy and just brush a bit onto the cake board around the cake, being careful not to get it on the cake itself. And then put that to one side. If you roll the sugar paste into a fat sausage, if you just smooth down one side to squash it ever so slightly, and then use the rolling pin to roll that out into a nice long strip. As you roll, if it gets longer than the space you've got to work in, you can move it around. It's going to go around the cake, so you can always start to curve the paste as well. Once that's rolled out nice and evenly, take your knife and cut away the inside edge so that you've got a nice straight line there. Like so. And cut one end so that it's straight. Place your cake in front of you. Where this joins, we'll make sure is at the back of the cake, so make sure that you've got that in mind when you put this on. So you just want to lift it up. Again, if it's sticking to your work mat, you can always use a bit of either white fat or icing sugar so it doesn't stick. And you want to curl it round so that that cut edge gets nice and tight to where the cake is. And of course smooth it down as you go if it makes any lumps or bumps or air bubbles. Going all the way around. When you get to the end, if you just lay the tail over the top, you'll be able to feel where the original piece was, and you can just use your knife to cut that off. And then with your fingers, just shimmy them towards each other till the paste joins. And again, you want to smooth it down all the way around, like so. And then again with the knife, and you want a fairly sharp knife for this. If you find the edge of the board, you can use the cake board as a guide to cut all the way around to trim the excess. Again, smooth down that edge. If there's any bits where it hasn't cut quite even, you can just take a few little nicks off like that. And there we have an iced cake ready to decorate.